Hey, what up, what up, what up? It's your boy, Jada K. Hefner and the beautiful Eyes of the Moon. And we coming back at you, man, with a part 2 show. Part 2 of preventing teenage pregnancy. And man, we're going to hit you with a little quick hitter here. Now, here's the deal. Anytime you're dealing with a subject matter like teenage pregnancy, it's always a little sensitive because there's parents out there. Nobody wants to think about their kids in sexual situations. Hey, your kid can be 50 years old and parents still ain't gonna want to think about their kids in sexual situations. So we understand all of that. But nevertheless, it's a subject matter that needs to be discussed, right? So when I brought that up, I figured I may hear from some of my parents, just viewers, and they might have a few things to say. And luckily, man, I had a great viewer, Cam, the product, who commented, and we're going to deep dive into some of his comments in a second. But I want to just say this, man. A lot of times, man, as adults, I think people forget how they were as kids. And man, 15, 16, let me tell you something. If you think that these kids don't know anything about sex, if you think that they ain't having sex and doing all manners of whatnot, then you're very mistaken. You know, shoes, when I was 15, people were sneaking in houses, cutting school, doing all type of stuff to have sex. And even family members that came up after me, man, I heard stories of people actually having sex in elementary school. So, believe me, in this world of internet, 2021 going to 2022, it's no sheltering these kids. You know, even when my mom, she never shared to me. She talked to me early about sex, but by the time she talked to me, I had already seen all type of pornographic things at school that my friends had brought. I had heard all type of pornographic stories and sexual stories by that time. So like I say, you cannot shield your kids away from these things. Now, with all that said, let's dive into a few of the concerns that my friend Cam the product had. He basically said, man, he sees my logic, and I tell you, if you didn't see the last video, preventing teenage pregnancy, go look at that video and then come back and check this one out. Go look at that one, then come back and check this one out. But he said, man, as a father of 2 boys, he said he can tell you that no 15-year-old boy, he said he can tell me that a 15-year-old boy would not be mature or responsible enough to have a $1,500 companion dog. Just stopping right there, Cam. I'm not, once again, like I said in the video, don't buy a companion dog and throw it in his room and leave it there. That ain't what I'm saying. I'm saying you get him the dog, and it don't have to be a $1,500 one, but you get him the dog and you teach him what it is. You teach him how to take care of it. You don't just throw it in his room and leave it with him. You walk him through the process of how to take care of this dog, what it means, and as he starts to understand, then you begin to release it into his custody, but still watching over him. So you don't, like I said in the video, you don't just give it to him and walk away. He said at 15 going through puberty, he's not going to even look at it as a companion dog. It'll definitely be a sex dog. Once again, that's on the parent. Kids can understand a lot more than people give them credit for, especially if they're 15, 16 years old, Cam. I believe that if his parent, his father, his mother, which they respect very much, would sit down, take the time, like I said in the video, and teach. It's about education, teaching him what this dog should mean. Then, yes, I believe your kid or any kid has the capacity to learn. A lot of times as parents, you want to cap what you want your child to learn. But no, he has the capacity to learn the difference between the two. Just like if you were to give him a pet, you know, he would have to know, guess what? You have to water this pet. You have to keep this pet clean. You have to take this pet out to use the bathroom. And they have the capacity to learn those things. Then he said, bro, you have to understand there are stages of development. They're still kids. They don't have the capacity to understand from real from synthetic. Once again, we disagree. When you saying they're still kids, at 15 to 16, they're young adults, man. And the truth is, they're well able of understanding real from synthetic. You got to give your kids a lot more credit than that. And once again, if you buy them a doll, throw it in their room and walk out, I agree with you. They're not going to know the value of it. They're going to do whatever they want to do. They're going to have sex with it and throw it in the corner and do all the stuff that I preach against. That's where parents come into play. And here's the deal. If this was to be a thing, every parent wouldn't be buying companion dogs. We already know that. But the ones that did, and spent their money, I would hope that they would be the parents that would be responsible enough to sit down and teach their kids the meaning behind this synthetic human that they have bought them. That is there to teach them how to go forward and treat a real human woman once they get one. So it's all about the teaching. He said social media is already causing hella damage. That's true, but guess what? You're not going to stop that machine. You can even try to bar them from using social media. Once again, trying to shield them from this world is not going to protect them. At some point, they're going to have to be on social media. They're going to have to navigate this world through the internet and all this stuff that they have set up. Might as well not shield them from it. Then lastly, he was like, man, finally, bro, I personally give my sons a pocket vagina or something of that nature for $50 or $60. And once again, I wouldn't go anywhere near that, especially as a male parent, because I've had a pocket vagina before. They are literally useless. You might as well just buy him some lotion and tell him to use his hand, because a pocket vagina is the worst. You know, it's not enjoyable, and I've said before, men, we do not get off over parts like that. We need whole women. And if you're talking about teaching your son responsibilities, teaching him how to keep this dog clean, teaching him how to care for the dog, dress it, do all type of stuff, you know, it's going to carry over in different ways to the human woman. That's my whole point of it. He's not going to learn anything if you get him a pocket vagina. You know, of course I want him to experiment sexually at some points with his dog too. But you won't just be getting him the companion dog for sex. And my whole proposal requires a lot of teaching, ladies and gentlemen. It requires a lot of teaching, a lot of parenting. And I believe it's something that is very possible. I don't think it's for everybody. And once again, if you're a parent who just feels that your kid does not have the capacity to learn what you're teaching him about a relationship or about these synthetic companions, then okay, don't get it for your kid. But I do believe the parents that are thinking like that, you're not quite giving your kid the credit of the ability to learn that they really have. Man, these kids are smart out here, and once you start breaking it down, how important it is to take care of this dog and think of it in more than just a sexual way, I believe they learn. Like, you can use tactics as you can keep the dog away from the kid to where, hey, look, you can come visit this dog once a day to take care of it, but it can't be in your possession yet. You can let it build up. It's so many different ways to build up their education with the dog. And you're selling him the point that, son, this is not just for sex. This is you learning how to empathize with something else other than yourself. You know, see this as your potential wife. Treat her just as good. Yeah, you might not have to take her out on dates, but you still got to keep her clean. Keep her dressed, son. Keep her hair combed. Look, you want to watch the game? Have her watching the game with your son. Get used to doing things with her, so guess what? When you get a human woman, you will know how to be with her. Chill with her. Now, it's going to be more complicated with the human woman, but you'll have a bit of a head start on patience, on responsibility, and things of that nature. So once again, Cam, I definitely don't expect you to agree with me from this video, because you're a parent and I understand the points that you're looking at it from. But my whole rebuttal to you is not just to sit the dog in the room. It comes with a lot of education, a lot of talking. It wouldn't be a simple process of, hey, go buy a dog, give it to your son, and walk away. No, that ain't what I'm talking about. And I know you might say, well, Jay, that ain't gonna happen on the regular. And I understand, and that's what I wouldn't want to happen. I want the education to happen. And I would hope that any parent spending, like you say, $1,500, that they would do that because they want to teach their sons, okay, look, man, this is how you can learn how to begin to treat a woman the right way by treating your dog the right way. So with all that said, we ain't gonna keep y'all no longer. It's been J. King Hefner and the beautiful Ice in the Moon. Cam, I hope I answered some of your questions. And I thank you for even asking them, because I'm sure somebody else had reservations about the whole video. But with all that said, for right now, Oh, don't forget, hit those subscriptions and notifications. But now, we are